This is Plant-Based Briefing, Why Rodeos Are Still Popular When Marine Parks and the Circus Are Declining. Part 1, by Jessica Scott Reed at Sentient. And I'm Marian Erickson, host of this curated content plant-based podcast, where I narrate articles on healthy, compassionate, and sustainable living with permission in about 10 minutes or less every weekday. And today's article's a bit longer, so it's a two-parter. I'll read part 1 today and tune in tomorrow for the second half. So now let's get to today's plant-based briefing. Why Rodeos Are Still Popular When Marine Parks and the Circus Are Declining, Part 1 by Jessica Scott Reed at Sentient at sentientmedia.org. Some forms of animal entertainment are going out of style, but rodeos persist. Today, rodeos big and small draw crowds across North America. Spectators looking to indulge in cowboy culture gather to watch man versus beast in a display of traditional ranching skills and techniques. Whether it's a small-town gathering, a massive event for millions, or a traveling show not unlike the circus or professional wrestling, rodeos have evolved over time into a popular spectacle. But the trend is not without controversy. At the center of rodeos are, of course, the animals, horses, calves, steers, sheep, pigs, and more, who are raced, chased, wrestled, and roped. Some of these animals become injured, some die, yet the crowds keep coming. What is it about rodeos that continue to attract a certain sector of people despite, or because of, the common occurrence of what others deem animal cruelty? And why, when some forms of animal entertainment are falling out of cultural favor, like wild animal circuses, whale and dolphin shows, do rodeos continue to be popular? Experts tell us there is much psychology at play, along with cultural identity, and even a connection to diet. A brief history of rodeo. The roots of rodeo in North America can be traced back to Spanish colonization in the 16th century, when vaqueros or cowboys introduced their cattle handling skills. This evolved into informal contests among ranch workers, eventually integrating indigenous horsemanship. By the late 19th century, rodeos became formalized as popular events, leaving behind a complex legacy of cultural exchange amid colonization's many impacts on indigenous peoples and lands. Today, rodeos have become a contentious topic, as proponents work to maintain tradition and corporate sponsorships work to maintain big profits. Animal advocates protest and lobby to get these shows shut down. Traditional ranch work has been perverted into a spectacle of animal abuse disguised as Western tradition, states advocacy group Showing Animals Respect and Kindness, or SHARK, in a report published by Encyclopedia Britannica. Modern rodeos are cruel and deadly for animals. See details linked here. Harm caused by rodeos. Deeply steeped in Western cowboy culture and agricultural traditions, rodeos are promoted as exhibitions of ranching talents and techniques. But according to animal advocates, these contests cause animals tremendous stress, injuries, and death in the name of mere entertainment. This polarizing perception has led to an increase in protests at rodeo events, with activists and even some lawmakers calling for them to be banned. One of the biggest and most well-known rodeos in the U.S. today is Cheyenne Frontier Days. The 127-year-old event attracts around 250,000 or more visitors to Wyoming annually, with an increase in attendance to rodeo events last year. The Calgary Stampede, which has taken place in Alberta, Canada since 1912, brought in a record attendance of nearly 1.5 million people in July 2024, reportedly generating 540 million Canadian dollars for the province and 282 million for the local economy, though it also cost Canadian taxpayers $10 million to help the event quote-unquote bounce back from the COVID-19 pandemic. Since 1986, when the Vancouver Humane Society began keeping a record of deaths at the Calgary Stampede, 109 animals have lost their lives. The majority have been horses killed due to injuries sustained in the notoriously violent, albeit profitable, chuck wagon races. Other animals have died from traumatic injuries such as broken necks or heart failure. There does not appear to be any recent record of animal deaths at Cheyenne Frontier Days, but that doesn't mean no animals were harmed. Cheyenne quit releasing injury and death numbers about 10 years ago, Mike Koblisky of the group SHARK tells Sentient. They used to release those statistics to the media after the rodeo every year, but now they keep the number secret, he says. A news report from 2013 states that at least 6 animals died during the 10-day event that year. The International Professional Bull Riders, or PBR League, which performs at Cheyenne Frontier Days, was established in the early 1990s and travels throughout the U.S. and Canada, Brazil, and Australia. The show garners extensive television coverage in addition to in-person attendees. 5 PBR events on CBS in 2023 topped 1 million viewers heading into the finals, notes The Athletic. While a tally of animal deaths for the professional bull riders' many leagues does not appear available, numerous animal advocacy groups have called out the event in various locations for instances of animal cruelty. This includes bulls being forced to endure spurs, flank straps, and other agitating techniques causing discomfort and stress, as well as loud and startling pyrotechnics. Rodeo is a dangerous competition. Animals are going to get hurt, writes Will Carpenter for the Wyoming Tribune-Eagle. The nature of the sport is violent, and there's no avoiding the inherent danger. According to the Animal Legal Defense Fund, rodeo events including calf roping, bull riding, steer wrestling, chuck wagon racing, and others have caused animals to suffer broken ribs, backs and legs, torn tails, punctured lungs, internal organ damage, ripped tendons, torn ligaments, snapped necks, and agonizing deaths. You just listened to Why Rodeos Are Still Popular When Marine Parks and the Circus Are Declining, Part 1 by Jessica Scott Reed at Sentient. And I'm Marian Erickson, your host. Tune in tomorrow for the second half of this article, where you'll learn why some people like rodeos, how they remain popular, and about a slow shift towards a bit more animal welfare at some rodeos. So please share this episode with anyone who might benefit, and thanks for listening.